Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Shelley Plumb. I am live and on location. I am in Wellington, Florida, and I'm sitting here with a beautiful lady. This is Barbara Swanson. She is so ingrained in the marketing field. She's been in the marketing field for, I think, over 20 years. Am I right in saying
Yes.
that?
Yep.
And she is associated with a company called New Earth, which intrigues me because it is all about, it seems like it's all about education and resources and educating us on the superfoods that are out there and that are available to us and may have health benefits. So, Barbara, I want to thank you for being here.
Dr. Shelley, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate any opportunity I have to help educate people.
Well, it's certainly our pleasure. And I have been doing a lot of reading about blue-green algae and a lot of resources that are out there. And there seems to be some real concrete health benefits of blue-green algae.
Absolutely.
And one of the critics that I was reading, of course there's always critics out there, but they were saying there's not a lot of research out there to support that it has health benefits. What do you think about that?
Well, that's really not true. It's just a matter of looking up. A book was recently published in the last 2 years that is a compendium of the research on blue-green algae health benefits, and it cites over 900 different studies and
900?
trials, over 900
That's incredible.
on blue-green algae.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. So health benefit-wise, just take one ailment that we might be familiar with. And can you cite any research that's behind how blue-green algae helps that?
Absolutely. I actually did some research this morning because you
Oh,
had
great.
said you were curious about this. So
Yes.
I went to PubMed,
Okay.
which is an online library for the U.S. of medicine. And they had studies that were done in the last 5 years on nutrition, gut health, and weight loss. And these are the studies that showed there were direct benefits, significant enough to look for more study to confirm what the benefits are from. Radioprotective benefits after medical radiation for cancer treatment, cancer prevention, healing sepsis, which is a blood infection that is extremely dangerous because in the circulatory system that means that infection spreads everywhere.
That's true.
Very quickly. Yes. Cardiovascular disease, enhanced activation of the natural killer cells, enhanced repair after traumatic brain injury, increasing the proliferation and activity of adult stem cells.
That's incredible. That's quite a list that you have there. Now, one thing that jumped out at me with regards to what you were just talking about is cancer prevention. And what I was reading is there were some statistics that I saw that show that blue-green algae is directly linked to decreasing DNA mutation. Have you heard that? And what do you think about that?
I have heard that, and I think that's absolutely possible. I am not a doctor, and I'm not a licensed researcher, but I do a lot of research, and I have 20 years plus of working with people in various levels of health, and they come to me.
Right.
And part of what I do is, okay, what is in the algae that might give this kind of benefit? You know, what's underneath cellular health? And of course, I think people are more and more understanding oxidative stress, which is the effect free radicals have on cellular health.
Right.
Algae is one of the most protective against oxidative stress for the nervous system, for the brain tissue. The phycocyanin, which is a blue pigment, directly supports reducing oxidative stress in the brain and nerve system. And then there are other pigments, including something called astaxanthin, I never can say that right, the chlorophyll.
Right.
They also are all proven to have benefits that are either anti-mutagenic, directly on DNA, or protection against heavy metals, or protection against oxidative stress. The three main reasons for mutations.
That is incredible. So I can only imagine, having seen friends and family go through cancer, for example, that it's an exciting, connection between blue-green algae and decreasing those DNA mutations. I mean, what role do you see the blue-green algae playing in cancer prevention in the future?
I see not only blue-green algae, but other ancient foods like the mushrooms, tonic mushrooms world, the foods that are the first foods on earth that literally created the world as we know it.
Right.
So the nutrients that they developed in response to surviving their DNA, surviving this incredibly difficult planet with the amount of UV light back then and radiation, those turned into nutrients that we have been created to access.
Right.
So I see it playing a real foundational role in the understanding of how foods support DNA health.
That's incredible. That's interesting. Now, we were talking about Oregon before we started the interview, and because I am actually from that area as well. And there was a doctor there. Let me see if I can remember her name. Dr. Carrie McPhail. And from, I believe, Oregon State University.
Yes.
And it was, I believe, a blog or an article that was dated in April of this year. And she has isolated a compound in blue-green algae that has been shown to combat some of the most aggressive forms of cancer. That was exciting to me. Have you heard that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, it's so fascinating because I just read this 2-3 days ago before you contacted me.
Really? Okay.
So this is a compound that's been isolated from a blue-green algae found in the ocean, and it is a compound that they have shown is incredibly effective targeting glioblastoma, which is a very aggressive brain cancer,
Right.
as well as triple-negative breast cancer, which is a very aggressive breast cancer,
Yes.
which other medicines do not work well to target.
Right.
What I like about this is, this is a compound that she found these algae. She's an algologist. She was intrigued by the algae. She did the work to isolate these nutrients. My point of view is almost all edible algae, especially blue-green algae that are so ancient, are going to have compounds that, if they're not the same, would be similar because they survived these millennia under the same stress conditions as a wild food.
That's interesting. So that kind of goes along with the mission of New Earth.
Absolutely.
Right? Because from what I was reading is it's the superfoods, like you said, they've been through the same experiences. They have maybe just a little different compound, but the
Yes.
same general principle. Am I right in
I
saying that?
absolutely feel that we're going to discover more and more that this is the truth, yes.
That's wonderful. One other, just flipping gears here, one other criticism of the blue-green algae is that there are side effects. Now, what possible side effects could you have from something that's so natural with the earth?
Well, anything can give side effects. We can be allergic to anything. People are allergic to air. So that's one thing to remember. Human beings are all different.
Right.
The second thing I think that's really important is to understand the difference between a cleansing or healing reaction and a problem.
That is true.
Because
I understand that.
Yes.
Yes.
Many people are, they drink regular tap water. Maybe they have a very stressful job. They're not able to afford all organic. So their body may have a load of toxins. Our liver and our spleen and our kidneys and our circulatory system, every day our detox channels have to work to keep us alive.
Right.
With too many toxins, they don't work particularly well. Something like blue-green algae that has nutrients that specifically support these channels of detoxification
Right.
can activate detox, and that can make you feel ill.
That hits home for me in a little different respect. Is last year I made the decision that I was going to go off sugar, for example, and I cut all sugar out of my diet. Was reading my labels and making sure that I wasn't eating a lot of sugar. Can I tell you, I felt like I had the flu.
Yeah.
I went through withdrawals. I thought I was sick, and that is a good example. That was actually a natural detox for me, and I realize that now. And it wasn't a side effect of the, decrease in the sugar.
Absolutely true. And the other thing I think it's super important for people who may decide to go look for blue-green algae out on the aisles, quality control, quality control, quality control.
Really? So one is not necessarily equal to
Very,
the next.
oh, absolutely they are not. And, part of the problem with blue-green algae is, especially imported algae, especially China, it is just an issue. The government did test spirulina from China, 12 different brands. None of them were organic, even though they had organic certification.
Okay.
None of them were pure spirulina. 4 of them had no spirulina at all.
So you're buying spirulina and there's nothing in there.
And 2 others actually had toxic algae.
Oh, that's incredible.
So,
you're doing yourself more harm than good.
You can be. So you need to look for things like, is it organic, and is it an American organic certification?
Right.
I mean, we just have to be thoughtful of that. Is there other third-party testing being done? And my favorite is the NSF, which is National Sanitation Foundation for GMP certification.
Right.
It's a certification you can earn. It's very rigorous.
Oh, okay.
And it's a real
not
guarantee.
all of them go through that.
99.9 do not.
That's incredible. So that brings up a good point for our viewers out there, and myself included, because I don't know. where can I get more information about this? How do I know that I am buying the right thing to put into my body?
So one of my favorite sites is called earthsfirstfoods.com.
Okay.
It is a research site. It will cite different studies on different kinds of algae, both blue-green, macroalgae, other green algae, as well as on other ancient foods like mushrooms.
Right.
There's no selling. It's not affiliated with any company.
Okay.
So it's a nice third-party site for research.
Right. There's no bias there.
There's no bias there.
Okay.
The next resource I like is Eat Light and Feel Bright by Dr. Jeffrey Bruno. It's that compendium I talked about of
Right.
the research. And so it's a great resource for people who really want to delve into more detail.
Okay, wonderful. Well,
And
that's
then
good.
as far as buying product, go online and type, edible blue-green algae and GMP certification.
Okay.
So that you find sites that don't just say they manufacture to GMP rules, which is actually a law,
Right.
so it's meaningless.
Right. That's funny.
But it is funny, I see that all the place. Oh yeah, we manufacture to GMP regulations. Well, you're supposed to.
Right, exactly.
But certification is a much more difficult thing.
It is. So one last question, being a mommy of 3 and having, a full-time job, I am curious about energy. Tell me what you think, and I've heard other people say that blue-green algae helps with our daily energy. Can you comment on
It is
that?
the number one benefit I hear.
Is that right, and why?
I think it is because so many people are so significantly depleted on a cellular level with the raw materials to make energy.
Okay.
That's minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids, but in particular minerals.
Right, okay.
And so when you provide the body with something that is about 97% assimilable, and as a doctor you'll know that assimilable means you don't actually even have to digest this. You can put it in your mouth and it gets
Right.
into your bloodstream.
Exactly right, yes.
So the effects can be immediate.
Right.
And energy is absolutely the number one benefit. And I also have 3 children and 2 grandchildren.
Oh, you do?
So
Great.
energy is something we
Oh,
need.
you understand that energy,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Great. Well, I want to be the first to thank you for being here with us today, and you're just a wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait for our viewers to see everything that we have talked about, and we will get the word out about blue-green algae.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Okay,
Shelley.
thank
I appreciate
you.
it.